Did you know that the first cars didn't even have a steering wheel? They were operated using a lever. Imagine, if you will, a time when the world was still getting used to the idea of mechanized transportation. The year was 1886, a year of great significance in the world of automobiles. This was the year Carl Benz, a name synonymous with luxury cars today, introduced the first petrol-powered car. The Benz patent motorwagen, as it was called, was a far cry from the sleek, tech-loaded vehicles we're used to seeing today. This primitive automobile had no windshields to protect against the elements, no doors to offer privacy or safety, and certainly no turn signals for indicating your next move. It was a simple three-wheeled vehicle that was powered by an internal combustion engine. And instead of a steering wheel, which we take for granted today, it was operated using a lever. But change was on the horizon. In a span of just 8 short years, the world saw the introduction of the steering wheel. In 1894, Alfred Vacheron took part in the Paris-Rouen race in a Panhard et Levasseur vehicle, making it the first car to be operated with a steering wheel. This marked a significant milestone in the history of automobiles, steering us, pun intended, towards a future where control and ease of operation became paramount. The early days of automobiles were indeed a time of innovation and discovery. This era saw the transformation of the automobile from a simple, lever-operated machine to a more complex and efficient vehicle controlled by a steering wheel. It was a time when inventors and engineers were constantly pushing the boundaries, exploring new ways to improve the driving experience. From the first petrol-powered car by Carl Benz to the introduction of the steering wheel, the dawn of automobiles was nothing short of revolutionary. It paved the way for the development of the cars we see today, setting the stage for incredible advancements in technology, design, and engineering. From lever-operated vehicles to steering wheels, the early days of automobiles were indeed filled with fascinating innovations. Imagine a time when cars were only for the wealthy. That changed when Henry Ford introduced the Model T and the assembly line. The late 19th and early 20th centuries were a time of great change. One of the most significant shifts occurred in the automobile industry. Cars, once a luxury item only the wealthy could afford, were transformed into a common means of transportation. The catalyst for this change? A man named Henry Ford and his revolutionary Model T. The Model T, introduced in 1908, was a game changer. Unlike the expensive, custom-made automobiles of the time, the Model T was designed to be affordable and within reach of the average American. It was a simple, sturdy vehicle that was easy to drive and cheap to repair. But what really set the Model T apart was how it was made. Henry Ford introduced a new method of manufacturing, the assembly line. Instead of one worker building a car from start to finish, each worker would perform a specific task. This division of labor meant that cars could be produced more quickly and efficiently. Ford's assembly line reduced the time it took to build a car from 12 hours to just 2.5. The impact of the Model T and the assembly line on the automobile industry was profound. Cars became more affordable and accessible, leading to a boom in car ownership. By the 1920s, nearly half of all cars in the United States were Model Ts. This revolution in transportation altered the landscape of America, leading to the growth of suburbs and the creation of a car-centric culture. The legacy of the Model T and the assembly line is still felt today. They paved the way for the modern car industry, setting the standard for mass production and affordability. The principles of efficiency and accessibility that Henry Ford championed continue to influence how cars are made. Thanks to Henry Ford, cars went from being a luxury item to a common means of transportation. As cars became more common, manufacturers began to focus on performance and luxury. Welcome to the era of muscle cars and posh rides. The mid-20th century was a thrilling epoch in automotive history. It was a time when the automobile industry shifted gears, veering away from just producing vehicles that could go from here to there. The focus now was on how fast, how smooth, and how luxuriously they could get you there. Cars were no longer just machines. They were becoming symbols of power, prestige, and personal expression. The birth of performance cars, or muscle cars as they were fondly called, marked a significant turning point. These were cars with larger-than-life engines designed to deliver raw speed and power. They were the embodiment of thrill and excitement, a visceral statement that speed was now an integral part of the driving experience. On the other end of the spectrum, luxury cars started to make their mark. These were vehicles that prioritized comfort, elegance, and a superior driving experience. In this era, manufacturers began introducing features like power steering and air conditioning. elements we take for granted today but were revolutionary back then. These features made driving less of a chore and more of a pleasure, transforming the inside of a car into a space of comfort and luxury. And then there were the brands. Names like Ferrari, Rolls-Royce, and Lamborghini became synonymous with the pinnacle of automotive performance and luxury. Ferrari, with its racing pedigree, brought high performance to the streets. Rolls-Royce, synonymous with handcrafted luxury and unrivaled comfort, redefined what a luxury automobile could be. Lamborghini, with its flamboyant designs and high-performance engines, gave a whole new meaning to the term supercar. In the rise of performance and luxury, the automobile industry saw a shift in perception. Cars were no longer just about getting from point A to point B. They were about the journey, the experience, and the statement you made along the way. They became extensions of one's personality, symbols of one's status. With performance and luxury taking center stage, cars were no longer just about getting from point A to point B. Today, we stand on the brink of a new era in the automotive industry, with electric cars and self-driving technology poised to change the way we travel. Electric cars, once a mere glimmer in the eye of the automotive industry, have now become a significant part of the conversation. Leading the pack is the titan of electric vehicles, Tesla, which has revolutionized the industry with its innovative technology and design. Tesla's commitment to creating high-performance, zero-emission vehicles has set a new standard in the auto industry, prompting other manufacturers to follow suit. But the future of cars isn't just about electric power. The rise of self-driving technology is also set to redefine the way we travel. Imagine a world where cars navigate traffic, avoid obstacles, and even park themselves, all without human intervention. This isn't some far-off fantasy. Self-driving technology is already here, and it's improving at an astonishing rate. There's a real possibility that in the not-too-distant future, manual driving could become a thing of the past. And let's not forget about the ongoing efforts to make cars more eco-friendly. With climate change being a pressing concern, the automotive industry is under increasing pressure to reduce its carbon footprint. The shift towards electric and hybrid vehicles is a big step in the right direction, but there's still much work to be done. From finding more sustainable materials for car production to improving fuel efficiency, the industry is constantly striving to be greener and cleaner. So, what does all this mean for the future of cars? Well, it's safe to say that the cars of tomorrow will be smarter, cleaner, and more efficient than ever before. They'll be vehicles designed not just for travel, but for a sustainable future. As we look to the future, one thing is clear: the evolution of cars is far from over.